Well, good morning, garden family. This is Ed Froelich with the First Time Gardener. You can see I'm a little bit dressed different from the last videos. It is October 17th, and if you're watching this today, Bryce, happy birthday. Anyway, I'm coming to you today. I'm in Central Florida, Northwest Central Florida, and it's a bit chilly this morning, and it feels good. The garden is just loving this weather. My broccoli and cabbage and all that, they just kind of love this weather. So I'm kind of doing a fireside chat for a little bit to let you know what we're going to do today. In one of our last videos, we did a video on how to grow potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket. And I have 2 buckets out there growing, and I bought 3 more buckets. So I'm going to bring you over to the garden in a minute, and I'm going to show you where I have my buckets right now. And the purpose of this video today is I don't want the buckets where they are. I want a separate growing area off the ground to put the buckets in. So let's call it a container garden table that I'd like to put them on. So I went out the other day and I bought some material, and together today we are going to do a DIY. I'm going to show you how to build a 5-gallon bucket grow table to put your buckets in, and we're going to do it from start to finish. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to give you all the pieces and the sizes that we need for you to build it yourself at home. So that's the video today. So hang with us. I'm going to enjoy this fire a minute and warm up. It's a little chilly, and I'm going to take you over to the garden and show you where I have the buckets then. And then we're going to hit it to the garage, and we're going to put this thing together, just you and I. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes to show you how to get started on this grow table. Okay guys, so here I'm at the, my Peggy's out there at the windows peeking out at me, seeing what I'm doing. Alright, so today guys, here's the buckets that I wanted to show you where I've got them stored now. I've got them, they're in my garden, so it's not an ideal place to have them to begin with. And then they're taking up room in my garden, and plus when my sprinkler goes and it goes back and forth, it's hitting these plants and not letting my other plants get the water it needs. So it's just not a good environment that I want. Plus it's really close to the ground. You can see it's only a couple inches off the ground. I'm worried about, you know, ants and everything else, bugs getting in there. So we are going to build one, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet, but we're going to build this together, and I'm going to build it slowly and piece by piece so that you guys can have all the measurements and the wood pieces that you need to put this thing together yourself. So guys, this isn't an oversized big thing that we're building here. This will fit easily maybe on your back porch, on your front porch, on your deck. Maybe you just have a tiny small backyard and you just want something to grow on. This is a perfect size and perfect fit for just somebody that wants to grow a few things in some buckets and not take up a lot of space. So it's a great project for you to do at home, and we're going to do it together. So anyway, we showed you what buckets we have. Now we're going to head to the garage and we're going to put this thing together. So don't click off the video, because we are going to build this from start to finish, and I'm going to show you what the buckets look like on it when we're all done. All right guys, let's head to the garage. All right, good morning my friends. We are at the table here. We're going to cut up the wood to build this table. So this table is going to be 23 inches wide. It's going to be 8 foot long, and it's going to be only 18 inches tall. And I've got a 4x4s. that I'm cutting, that's going to be the height of it. It's a very short table. It's just in order to put the 5-gallon buckets on, and we're going to have a rail toward the top just in case once your plants grow in the bucket and they get top heavy, if the wind blows, it's not going to let the bucket tumble off your table. So first thing is we need to cut 4 of these 18 inches tall. I've already got 3 of them cut. I'm saving the last one just to show you guys. And I'll have a drawn out sheet at the very end that I'll take a picture of, and I'll post it at the end of the video. So if you want to copy it, take a picture, screenshot it, you'll have all the measurements of all the pieces that we need. All right, so we need 4 of the 4x4 posts, and I'm using all pressure treated lumber. It's important because it's going to be outside all the time. So we're going to need 4 4x4 posts cut 18 inches long. I've already got 3 cut. I'm going to cut the last one. All right, there you go. Simple as that. So now I've got 4 of those cut. Now next is I'm going to make an end rail, 2 end rails, one at each end, that's going to be connected by an 8-foot 2x4. So we're going to make the 2 rails at the very end, which is going to consist of 2 of these and then a 23-inch piece top and 8 inches off the bottom. And I'm going to show you how to put these together. So let me get my 2x4s, and we're going to cut 4 of those 23 inches. All right, so I got my first one cut 23 inches. Now I'm just going to use this as a template. And I'm going to mark 3 more and cut those. We'll have 4 total at the end. Now I have a chop saw, but you can do this with a skill saw too. And to keep it square, you can use, when you cut, you can use a square like this. Hold it on the 2x4, and then you can take your skill saw and just run it across there and make sure your blade's on the line that you want to cut. Also, eventually down the road, I'm going to get a table built for this, so this is flush. And then you can put, you can screw a marker down, so you can just slide your wood down to that marker, and you just keep doing that so you get the exact same measurement every time. But I don't have one of those built yet, so this is the way we're doing it. All right, so we've got 4 of these cut. We're going to put these together. The only thing we have left to do after we put this together is we need to cut all of our wood for our decking, which I use 5/8 inch deck board, 6 inch wide, 5/8 thick, and that's what's going to be on the table here once we build it. But for now, let's go down on the ground. I'm going to show you how to put this part together. Okay guys, one more thing before we put this together. We're going to mark our 4x4 posts with a pencil mark so we know where to put our 2x4s on. So this being, say this is going to go on the ground, okay? So from the ground level, where we're going to be on the ground, we are going to make a mark 8 inches up. And we're going to put a pencil mark on there. And then from that pencil mark, we are going to put a 2x4 from the pencil mark. The top of the 2x4 is going to be on the pencil mark, and we're going to go down. And then the other one is going to be right level with the top. And that's going to be our 8-foot rails. But we want to put our 23-inch pieces on first. So let's come down here and I'm going to show you what we're doing. So from the bottom, this is going to be on the ground. You want to come and you want to go 8 inches, mark an 8-inch mark, okay? You got that? And then we're going to take our square and we're going to make a pencil mark all the way around on all 4 sides. And that's going to allow us to put, whatever way this direction is, it's going to allow us to put our 2x4 right on that mark. So as you can see, I made the mark all the way around. And on this side downwards, this is the bottom of your post. That's where we're going to put our 2x4. So we're going to go from this line right here. We're going to put our 2x4. Actually, it's going to go this way. And we're going to go from the line down, and that's where we're going to screw it into the post. The other one on the top is just going to go level with the top. And you'll see as we put that together, you'll understand it better if you don't understand it right now. All right, so I'm going to mark the other 3 things, and then we're going to get down on the ground and we're going to start putting these together. All right, guys, I got all 4 marked. You got this pencil line all the way over there with an X on the side. That's where the 2x4s are going to go down that way. So I'm going to bring this down on the ground and we're going to put these 2 ends together. All right, guys, so before we go down there to the put this thing together, I wanted to show you a couple tools we're using. It's important for not splitting the wood. We're going to drill a pilot hole and then we're going to put our screw in. So I have a screw gun that has my star bit in it, and then I have my cordless drill with a 1/8 inch drill bit that is going to drill a pilot hole in the wood before we put our screw in, and that will help from keeping the end of the wood from splitting. So it's important, always drill pilot holes, especially when you're getting so close to the end of the wood. And then because the 2x4 is 1.5 inches deep, I want to get a nice bite into the 4x4, so I double that. So 1.5 inches deep for the 2x4, and then I'm going to go in 1.5 inches deep into the 4x4, which is going to give a good support and a good grip into that thing. All right, so we got that out of the way. Let's go down there and put these together. So we're putting our 23-inch pieces onto our 4x4 posts in order to create an end at each of the bucket holder. And that's what we're putting together now. Okay, guys, so we put our 23-inch cross members onto our 4x4. This top one is flush with the top and it's flush with the side. Now this end is going to be our top end that's going to be pointing up. This end here is going to be what's going to be on the ground. So this 2x4 you want to put on your pencil mark and make sure that the line is on the top of the board, and we're going to put the board down from there. Okay, and I'll put a square on just to make sure that this board is square with the board. Makes a 90-degree bend right here, or turn, and then we're going to put 4 screws in each one, and then we're going to go to the other side. The other side right now is just holding the end up. So what we'll do is once this is secured, we'll put that together, make sure that this is square, and then we'll put the 4 screws in there, and that's one side done. And then we're going to do the exact same thing to the other end. All right, so what we want to do, like I said, we make a pilot hole. I'm going to put four screws in here, and you can see that the bit is long enough, I think you can see that it goes through the 2x4 into the 4x4, and we're just going to put 4 screws in there. These are 3-inch screws. So we're just going to put a couple in, and then we're going to do the other one. All right, now I've got my drill. This is a variable speed drill, so that's good. I like using the electric drills to put the screw in. I use the cordless ones for the drill bit for drilling. All right, I'm gonna put the other 2 in. All right, that's one down. Now let's do this top one. We're going to try to make sure that, let's see. What am I going to do? We'll make sure that this is square this way. That looks to be pretty square. So we're going to drill 4 holes in there. Now you're going to find this PT, especially if you get really heavy PT, it's pretty solid, so you might have to do a little bit of pressure to push this down in. All right, let's put our 4 screws in there, and then we'll go to the other side and do the same over there. All right, guys, that's one side done. Now we're going to go over. I'm just going to switch it around just so you can see. All right. So there again, this is the bottom right here. So you want to line this up. There's our pencil mark. So we want to bring the pencil mark. We want to bring the pencil mark right to the wood there. We're below the pencil mark. The pencil mark's right here. So we're below. We're flush. Just going to knock that out a little bit there. We're going to make sure that we're square. All right, so it's not quite square, so we're just going to tap it up just a little bit. There we go. Pencil mark still showing. All right, so let's get that drilled. We'll put 4 screws in that. Okay, guys, I just had to get my little hammer over there, and I knocked it like this and knocked it like this to get it flush on this side here. I put 1 screw in to hold it. So now I'm just going to put the other 3 in, and that'll do it for this side, and then I'm going to put the next one together. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the screws. These are construction screws. You can use deck screws or any kind of exterior screw. Most important thing at this particular stage is that you use 3-inch screws. Now, why I use screws, because if you use a nail, you can put it together with a nail, but in the cold, from the heat and the cold and expansion and contraction of the wood, as it goes, you're going to see the nail's going to start working its way out. Now you can tap it back in with a hammer when you see that, but these here will hold it together without backing out in the expansion and contraction of the wood from the heat and the cold. So that's the reason I use screws. They're very important. I put everything together with screws on here, no nails. Okay, let me put these other 3 in, and then that's going to do it for this side, and then I'm going to build the other side the exact same way I just did, but I'm just going to do that off camera so I don't take any more of your time up, and then we'll go to the next step. All right, folks, so we have our end caps built, which I showed you how to build them. They're both built, so we're getting ready to put our 2x4 8-foot 2x4s in. That's going to be the length of our grow table. Our 5-gallon bucket grow table is 8 foot long. So make sure that we put them in. You have the 4x4s inside of there, and then you also make sure that both ends, this is the ground end that's going to touch the ground, so make sure they're both facing the same direction. And then now what we're going to do is we are going to put our 2x4s, which are 8 foot long PT. This is what's going to make our top and bottom rails, our 2 side rails in, the top and the bottom. Then we're going to turn it over and put the side rails on the other side. So that's the first step. We're going to put these in. All right, so you got it all lined up with a 2x4, and we're going to put 4 screws in each end, and then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to put 2 railings on the bottom side. All right, guys, now for the screws. We're going to put all the screws in. Okay, my friends, we got one side done. We're going to flip it over and do the other side. Okay guys, this is what it looks like after all 4 rails are on. Now this is laying on its side. We're going to turn it upright. So let's turn it upright. Alright. And that's what it looks like. Now, 2 more things we got to do. I got to put a center brace in the middle just to hold those 2 bottom boards the same length, because we're going to put our bottom deck boards on there. Here's our bucket, so it's going to go right in between there and sit on a deck plate right there, and it's going to hold up to 5 buckets. That way it'll keep it up off the ground. I can grow a little something in here besides the earth beds and stuff, so it gives us a little bit more versatility on growing stuff. All right, so let me measure what piece we need here. I'm going to cut it and then put that in there, and then we'll start on our deck boards. Leave me a comment whether you think you're going to build one of these or not for your place, and if you have any suggestions of building something else that you've built and it's working for you, put them in my comments too, and I'll share them with all the folks that are looking at my channel as well. Now this isn't my, I'm not going to take 100% credit for this. I watched another show, Hollis and Nancy Homestead. He built these, and I copied it from his design, so it's not all mine, but it works for me, and hopefully this will work for you. I'm just passing it along. So not something that I designed, but I think it's a really cool idea. All right, let's go to the next step. All right, guys, so I measured the inside at the very end here, and that's the piece I want to cut for the middle. And the reason I'm not measuring the middle is because I want it exactly the same width as the end. If I measure the middle and it's a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch bigger because the wood's bowed, then that's the wood's going to stay bowed. So if I keep it this measurement in here and make a board for here, it'll either push that out or pull it in, depending on what I need, so everything is straight. So that measurement from here to there is 12 7/8. So I'm going to cut a piece of PT 12 7/8, and that's what I'm going to put here in the middle. So we're going to do that now. So I measured the center. This 4 foot is to the center. I'm just going to draw a line. That's where I want to drill a couple holes to put our all right, now get our piece that we cut 12 7/8. We cut, let's just get a couple screws started. Now this is just for support, helps hold these two beams together, but once we screw all the deck boards on here, it ain't going to go nowhere. This is just to help until we get all that done. Just make sure that this is flush. Yeah, you saw it spin around there, but it's flush. All right, now we're going to put the bottom screw in. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to go do the other side. Put 2 screws over there, and then we'll start on our deck boards. Okay, it makes that nice and sturdy. All right, now for our next step is our deck boards. So there you go, I'll give you a look from the side. That goes right in the middle. Now we're going to put deck boards. We're going to cut them from here to here, which I believe is, I got to get the measurement. I think it's like 15 inches. We're going to cut all of these the same, and then we're going to put our deck boards in here, and we'll show you how we do that. All right, guys, so what we have here is a deck board. It's called 6-inch, but it's, let's see, what is it? It's like, yeah, it's 5.5 inches. They call it 5/8 inch deck board. It's pressure treated. You can see how thin it is. It's thinner than a 2x4. This is what they use on when they're making a lot of decks, and they use these on stairs going up to your wooden decks. So anyway, that's what this is. I've got 8-foot pieces, 5/8 inch thick, and our measurement that we need is 16 inches. So we're going to cut up a bunch of these 16 inches, and then we're going to show you how to put them on the grow table. So I've already marked the first one 16 inches. I'm going to line it up with my line. There again, if you don't have a chop saw like this, you can put it on a table with some 2x4s underneath that use a square to guide your skill saw, and you can cut these with a skill saw. It's a little bit more time, but it can be done. I've done it 100 times before with other projects. All right, let's cut this one. All right, sweet. So there we go. We're going to cut a bunch of these. I only have 3 deck boards. I think that's going to be enough to do them, because we're going to, once we put them down and screw the first one in, we're going to put a 2x4 for a spacer and then put the next one on the side. So we're going to have an 1.5 inch gap in between all these as they go in. All right, I'm going to make the rest of these here, and then we'll show you how to install them on the grow table. All right guys, so we got 6 panels out of that one board. I got 2 more panels to cut up, and then we're going to take them over and I'll show you that. So let me get the rest of these cut up and we'll bring you back when we're down at the grow table. Okay friends, we are almost done. So I've got all the pieces cut. So it took 15 of these pieces for the bottom, and it was only, I bought 3 8-foot lengths, 6 by 8 foot by 5/8 deck, and we only used 2.5 to make all these on the bottom. So I still have a half of one left over. If I decide to make a next another one, I'll have a little bit more left over. So originally Hollis, the guy that built this that I'm copying from, used a 2x4 in between, and I spaced them out. And I like the spaces a little bit thinner than the 2x4, so I just cut a piece of wood off the 4x4, which is, you can see the difference in thicknesses. So I'm using this instead. I like I said, I like a little thinner hole in there. So I'm just trying to work out. So I've got them all spaced out except for the very last 2. They're a little thin, so I've got to move everything over about a 5/8 of an inch. But we're going to put these in. So basically the only thing that's left to do is to drill the holes, put the screws in, and our project's done. So let me get working on that for the spacing to start with, and then I'll show you how to finish this up. Now, the only thing different with the screws on this one is we're going to use 2.5 inch screws instead of 3-inch screws, because the board's, you know, almost half the thickness of what the 2x4s were. So we don't need a 3-inch screw. 2 1/4, 2.5 is plenty. I think what I have is 2.5, so that's what I'm going to be using. All right, so let me finish getting these spaced out, and then we'll come back and start finishing this project up. Okay guys, so I got the first one screwed in. Now what I'm going to do is my block of wood, I'm going to make sure it's flush. Make sure it's flush with the outside edge of the wood. I've got my block there, so I'm going to put 1 screw in each side for right now, just to hold it. Pre-drill them. Now these are 2.5 inch screws. I'm gonna go buy 2 inches or 2.25 inch screws, because I don't have enough of these to begin with, but I think they're overkill. You don't need them that long for this. All right. And I'm putting 4 screws in each board. I just didn't have, I've got to go get some more. So hopefully I can go to the hardware store here local. We have a little hardware store here. I don't know if they'll have what I need or not, but If not, I might have to take a run over to Lowe's to finish this up. All right, so there it is. So that's the spacing I'm going to do all the way across. Just going to use this board right here, slide them on, and that's going to be my spacing all the way along. So guys, I'm going to go see if I can get 2-inch screws from the hardware store down here. I'm going to finish all this up. You just saw I'm going to do exactly what I just did right now with those two, and I'm going to do it all the way across, and I'll bring you back to show you the finished product over there. So stick around, we're almost done. Okay guys, here's the finished product. Let me take you down there and show you. And you can do this yourself. I'm going to draw out what materials you need and put it on a piece of paper at the end of this video so you can screenshot it to know just exactly what you got to do. All right, there's with it with some buckets in it. This will hold five 5-gallon buckets. Only got 3 in here. I've got 2 growing potatoes in the back, which I'm getting ready to put this in the backyard by the garden somewhere, and I will put the potato ones in here. I'll probably plant these 3 with something sometime this week, get it growing. But that's it. Easy project to do yourself. I hope you like this. Alright guys, this is the end of the video. Please, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. It's a new channel, The First Time Gardener. Pass it around to your friends. If this is interesting to you, I hope you build it. Leave it in the comments if you did build one. Let me know how it turned out, and I will leave a parts piece at the end of this video so that you can screenshot it if you want to build this yourself. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, thumbs up, and until we see you next time, take care, God bless. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.